Hey, everybody. You guys say something so we know we can hear you.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, they
Hi,
can hear you.
everybody.
Yay!
Yeah, I should probably.
Let's see, I got everybody in the right space for now. Everybody's in the right spot for now, but David's going to be joining us soon. He's just enjoying some holiday barbecue with some family, so he'll be with us soon. Hey, Sam. Good to see you.
Hello.
Just a couple quick announcements, just so everybody knows and is aware. We're going to try to give everybody as much of a heads up as possible. Hey, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
We will be
watching, Mom?
switching. She said
you are
she's
watching.
watching
Hi,
from the
Mom.
road. I know. Don't drive and watch.
Wait, what? Don't drive watch.
I think Chris is watching.
There you go.
Sorry, Chris is driving, Mom is watching.
Excellent. Just so everybody knows, we will be at the new year switching to safe travels, Mom. Switching to streaming on Tuesdays starting in January, first week of the new year. So January 2nd, you will see us at our new time slot. We'll be staying at the same time for a while, possibly. We got some friends possibly getting new jobs. We'll keep you posted on that. But we're going to be starting to stay at the same time slot on Tuesdays. So be ready for that. Got a few months left on that. No big deal. Just wanted to make sure everybody's well aware. We'll make that announcement each week as we get closer to our new time slot. But let's start with some quick intros. Botron will be joining us soon. David will be. So we'll start with Josh because he may have to go AFK for food.
Yeah, I'm Josh. I play Jaeger Hellstrom, the human alchemist gunslinger.
Then Sierra.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I play Maximiel, the Tiefling Sorceress Bard.
All right. Next is Maddie.
Hello, I'm Maddie. I play Isadora, the gun tank gunslinger.
Next, as we jump over to the other side too, if you have a question about what the fuck happened last week and where the fuck we are, because these guys grilled me for like an hour afterwards and been asking lots of questions. If you, the viewers, have any questions about Eterna and what the fuck is going on, feel free to post it and I may answer it before the stream because it's a holiday and I've been drinking since noon. Thanks, Maddie, for subbing for 6 months in a row. We love you. Thank you, Maddie. Next is we're gonna go to Zach.
Hi everyone, I am Zach. I play Doran, the Dragonborn Barbarian.
And last but not least is Nate.
That's me. Hi, I'm Nate. I play Soren, the half-elf blade singer rogue.
And I'm Ben, being the DM, where all this madness comes from, and everybody's got Sam's gorgeous art, and Nate's got Nate's gorgeous art in the background, and it's just so fucking beautiful, and we love all the Eterna art. So
It was a lot of fun.
it was a fucking great piece. Like it's really hard to capture that perspective of, hey, you're looking up and it's literally like hundreds and hundreds of miles of waterfall as these icebergs are slowly melting from miles above you. It's fucking wild. All right, Josh is ASK first food, but while we do our recap, did anybody else here have any public stream questions they wanted to ask about what the fuck with Eterna before we get there? Because we know now that Cyorion's not flat. You've been saying it for months, for years. Cyorion is not flat.
You know, I think that it was all just a scam to make us think that Cyorion wasn't flat. Big corporations will want you to think that Cyorion is not flat, but I have a very much proof that it is flat. I have several experiments I can do that I can show that the world is flat. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Have you been hanging out on
my big bowl?
Have you been hanging out on that Bugbear Bro Jogan's podcast, coming up with your conspiracy theories?
Yeah, man, I'm an epsilon female, so like.
That's it. Stream's over. Sarah wins. Sarah wins D&D.
We've reached peak sugar. We've peaked.
Oh.
This is it.
Sarah wins D&D. There you go. That's how, folks. If you ever wanted to know, that's how you win D&D. Right there.
That is your new title. You're no longer physics friend. You are now
Epsilon female. Oh, good God.
Oh, Jesus.
Sarah, have a point of inspiration, please, for the love of God. That was amazing.
Girl, you were getting inspiration every single session.
Just killing it. God. Amazing. Fantastic.
Oh, actually, I don't know if this is a question for like lore or whatever, but when we arrived, there was that guy that like came up and met us at the dock. Did he seem at all surprised to see us?
Oh, absolutely. He was just like,
Okay.
He spoke to one of the giants for a moment, and then was kind of like, hey, new friends.
Hi,
And
what the
that's
fuck?
kind of that's kind of how it went. Like, it may have not sounded like that because I was so fucking amped up on adrenaline for,
good.
you know, a speech that was 3 years in the making that no, 5 years. What did Josh figured it was 5 years back in the day that we fucking dropped it. This shit is older than 2 of my kids. Cheers to that.
Oh, lordy.
I'm drinking the grown-up apple juice tonight. That's what this is, folks. Don't get me banned. Cheers. Yeah, it is. It's been a
apple
long time.
juice.
So he was definitely like, yo, hey, I'm glad you're here. Nice to see you. But welcome to this fucked up place that you were definitely not expecting to be at. And you all were literally coming out. So last week, let's go back and recap a little bit. You guys were meeting with the giants in their city, as I'm literally like saying and pulling up that of Kolvek student, which was a brass giant city out in Holderima. You basically were getting vetted by the chieftain and seeing if you guys were going to be allowed into the proper portion of the city. There ended up being like a feast in your honor because you guys helped take down the Graknork, which was this massive beast, and you know, a mythical creature to these people. Only 3 of them have been killed in this current shaman's lifetime, which they didn't expect a 3rd. So this is unheard of for them. You guys were given honored places, lots of booze, lots of great food, because, you know, that's what I do is I get hungry and drinky and I think about all the fantasy things that I'd love to have at a feast, and that's what you guys were given. So you guys had a wonderful party. And then the next day, you know, you had a touching moment at the grave of Haverford Lindholm, and then you left the necklace of Tusk on his grave, which was just absolutely gorgeous and touching. And you didn't have much to do after that, so Soren, take inspiration now for a very poignant moment in the last session. I thought was very, very cute. So please have inspiration for that now, since you didn't have much after that, because you guys were offered an opportunity to travel to Eppen, which the giants thought that you might be able to get some more information if you went to Eppen.
The ritual of Kurodan.
Yep. So the Kurodan ritual, which you guys were basically loaded onto a giant-sized canoe, so sizable for the giants, like a good canoe for them. Larger size could fit a few of them, had a bonfire in the middle, and these skins and leathers were laid down in a canopy style over you, and a large bonfire was lit in the middle, and you guys were basically strapped in. And then as you were strapped in, you were all like, well, this is not such a bad ride. Everything was really chill and smooth and easy, and that's because, you know, the fire was definitely drugged with something, as that bonfire was essentially, you know, like taking one of those anti-air sickness pills as you took off on the plane, because one of you, I think, looked outside briefly as the wind and ice and water was whipping past you at hundreds of miles an hour as you were basically traveling through an iceberg luge. And you guys were shooting through it. I literally sat there with Nate one day and did like the chart on this and explained how I thought it would work, and these guys have been doing shape water and ice for centuries and like made tubes that could travel through the iceberg down to Eterna. And they just fucking luge their asses down there. You popped up halfway into one of their subterranean cities, which is just like an outpost. There's a couple dozen giants that are there, like as a passage point and helping you route to some of the other giant cities. And they're like, oh, you're going to Eppen? Cool. Let's get you down this tube. And shoot, off you guys went. So somebody was briefly cognizant for that moment, and then you were bloop, back down the tube. And that was about the highest point of the gravity. Like, it kind of like pulled you out off of it, and then as soon as you got to there, it kind of like crested back in towards the lower part of the bowl. And you all kind of came to really, not that you were unconscious, if anybody's had like one of the codones, you know, like a what's the fucking word I'm looking for, but you know,
Oxycodone.
like, yeah, you're like out of it, but you kind of like can look back and remember glimpses of it. You kind of got that from the experience. Like you can remember pieces of it and you're like, I'm moving really fast, but it's okay, I'm strapped in and my friends are safe, so I'm just gonna go back to sleep. And you know, that's about all you remember from it. And then you kind of come to as the waterfall is slamming into you from above. All of these different like sounds and like the great pressure and chill of that water mist as it's hitting you. And I'll pull up the end of my speech there, but the giant kind of looked back to you and basically just grunted at you. We hear this happen. You looked to where he was pointing. You found yourselves tied off to a floating city, some sort of, you can't really tell what it is like from the distance. It looked like possibly a fishing platform of some sort. But the water here was not high waves. It was really calm. But the city was too small to belong to giants. You had been roped off to it in a manner, but just it was clearly not, the giants did not walk on it. And you saw a Fairland person conversing, and with one of the giants who's standing at the bow of the ship. He pointed at you. That person approached you and spoke fluent common and said, "Newcomers, welcome. I'm sure this is a lot to adjust to, but I'm Terige. Welcome to Eppin, and by that extent, welcome to Eterna." And that is exactly where we left off, is a lot of you getting unstrapped from this canoe, the dark star of Eterna hanging in the sky, massive thousands-foot waterfalls behind you, and you can literally see what you assume to be some huge ice shelf miles above you. Kind of hard to put in terms of character perspective, put two and two together and be like, yeah, sure, this is normal.
Not normal.
Not normal, but the only person I will allow is because of the massive information load and all of the data that they've collected, I will allow one emphasis check from Maximiel. So 2d20s to see if Maximiel puts two and two together, but everybody else, I think this is just too much information for you guys, and like you're trying to figure out where the fuck you are.
7 and 18.
Ooh.
So Maximiel, we talked about this off stream, but with an 18 on the emphasis check, you recall being back in Katala, back in the temple, way back on like session 8, and you remember being in a place called the Solarium, and in there was a broken globe, which you guys figured was a planetary map. Most people never went past the frozen rime, so you guys figured that it had just been broken in its old age. But looking up above you, the stars align. The stories from Turok, the information from Busat and that otherworldly kitsune creature, the map you had seen, the visions you've had, everything kind of connects, that Eterna is not elsewhere. It is part of this world and is just hidden away on the other side, something that has been impossible to travel to before, but apparently somebody has been for a while. Giants. Nobody's really made that exploration and that jump so far. Obviously, Haverford Lindholm never made the trek himself, was more interested in learning about the frost giants and was never able to make that connection. The few dark elves, the Fairland that you've heard of, you heard wild stories about people getting lost on their way and ending up in Cyorion, washed ashore as if they were lost in another world. It's possible they just got dumped on the other side of the planet and managed to survive the trip.
So Cyorion isn't on the back of a turtle, but we're on a turtle shell.
Son of a bitch. I quit. Done.
What?
Where it's not a flat Cyorion. It's a bowl Cyorion. Eterna is the back of Cyorion. Eterna got its brains blew out. And that's what all that is. Somehow. We're on the back half.
I mean, I've seen plenty of gunshot wounds, but this has got to be the most drastic adaptation of it.
Cyorion bowl! Tortoise shell!
Do we see the dark star hanging up there?
Yeah, those of you that have spoken to Turok and heard his stories, this is the night sky that his dad described. This is that eternal darkness and purple light that was described to him.
Yo,
As you're
How
all kind of
disorienting was the journey here? Like
It
getting
wasn't.
off of this kayak.
that kind of that whatever drug, that Kurodon ritual kind of like mellowed you out. It was really like Dramamine, like traveling sickness. Like you don't feel upset to your stomach.
Not like
Yeah.
not dizzy or anything.
You're
like
not
that.
dizzy. You're not
Okay.
disillusioned, or like you have your mind back about you now. The most discerning part is like you look up in the sky and there's not a sun in the sky. It's a purple star.
the stars are all in the wrong places, though. That's
Well,
weird.
they're exactly where they should be.
So
Like-
we're just
like-
kind of like, yeah, it's we're in a different place. The giants have explained it to a few of us. Nobody's taken the trek, maybe one or two. I mean, there's expeditions for the king every once in a while, but we've believed for quite a while that
Sorry, king? You have a king? You have a whole government system set up over on this side?
on this side, you mean you, the intruders on the other side. This is our world. We've been here the longest.
No,
But-
I'm not contesting that, but I'm just surprised that
Who's the king?
you have a civilization here. This is not just a city.
Oh no, this is just you look back to like the docks and everything around you, and this is this is just a fishing outpost. This is a small floating village. We have it anchored off against the icebergs, and I mean it's a fishing city.
How do you
Are we
not?
allowed to be here?
How do we not just float away?
Oh, this is I mean, Eterna is still a place. You don't just float away. There's, we have, you can jump here, and he like hops a little bit. It's like we still have gravity. I mean, it's not like the giants have explained that, they if you walk too far to the tops, and he points up to the icebergs, up to the top of the shelf there, that you kind of lose the effects and you can float away. That's why they developed this system. They're the only ones that we see from the other side. There's few people that come over. Those that are exiled here. I mean, we hear rumors. I mean, there's stories. There's
Exiled here.
there's stories of operations there. There's the the boogeymen.
There are other outsiders?
Oh, 1 second here. Let me fix some cameras. Hey, David.
Hello.
David.
Yay!
Boogie?
Sorry about being late.
All good.
Oh,
Oh.
David's in and out. Sorry, stream cameras are getting messy for just a minute. Hold on for us.
Turning on my camera, I shut it off completely. Awesome.
There you go. I'm gonna get people dragged back around. We are just talking to Terige on the other side of the planet here. So give me a moment.
That was barbecue.
Hamburgers were very good. Yes.
Nice.
Yay.
Here,
Always holidays like this where I'm like, oh, that does sound good. But I don't have like a grill or anything.
I made bratwurst today. They were delicious. Quite tasty. As you're all talking,
there are other outsiders?
Okay, I feel like it's a lot of questions. I'm
You have no idea.
You're asking the wrong man. I'm just a humble fisherman. I mean, the rumors and the boogeymen we hear of all the time. There's the ebon hand who will take you and throw you into the maw, and they.
Oh, they're real.
Yes.
So you do know about them.
Yes, but
Do you
Where
know
do we
about
find
the
'em?
Stella Tenuum?
we've heard of the Stellatenium. There's been a few people brought here for safety from the Stellatenium, but I mean, again, I just
Do you know people? Do you
no.
know?
I fish. I'm a
Yes, but do you know
fisherman.
people who've been brought by the Stella Tenuum?
No,
Or like-
gods,
no?
no. I sit here and
Clearly,
I
this
fish.
man doesn't
and
have the answers.
I trade.
What's the name of the king?
King Dushind Westerol. That's
Who would have answers to our questions?
Give me 1 second here.
Dashhound Wester.
It looks like Dotson. Dotson. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna post
Dachshund Westeros.
Oh, then I definitely spelled that wrong.
Dushind Westerol.
Hey.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
This guy's name is Taraj. Teroj?
Terij. T-R-T-E-R-I-J-H. Terij.
H. Fuck. We're so close. Always so close.
Always so
I
close.
mixed up the H and the J.
I mean, I fish, but Valacor's Haven is nearby, and that's one of our primary trade cities. Generally, we have things on hand here because the giants will occasionally trade with us. They're quite kind people, but they're what we usually see from what they've described as the centrals on the other side of the planet. We hear weird stories. There's many crackpot theories and harebrained ideas that the Ebon Hand says that if we do not sacrifice people to the maw, that we will never be free from the chains that bind us here. And the Stella Tenuum says that we must seek the answers of magic and find a way to connect with our long-lost brothers. And all the while, people are being abducted in strange happenings from the mountains.
Huh.
Strange happenings in the mountains. That is important to know.
From the
That
mountains.
being the mountains.
Oh,
no.
these mountains
Are,
behind
no.
us?
are
Or
we
those
from the mountains?
No,
Was
those
that-
those are the teeth. That's what we call them.
is
If you just
I love
if you just
that.
look up, and if you kind of like look up and like follow it around, it gets very strange at the distant horizon, because the world has a slightly bowl-shaped curve that it seems closer than it actually is, but you can actually trace like the edges of the icebergs of Holderima around the rim of the planet as they kind of go out and jut up towards the dark star of Eterna. And then there's ice and water coming in. You can kind of see a misty gray sheet a little bit further below, but it looks like jagged teeth kind of making up the edges of this bowl shape that you're sitting in.
Teeth. Right.
No, there's a mountain range north of the, well, what we call north, because we had this old technology that was rumored used to work, these compasses, but it doesn't work here. But we still call it north on a map, but north of the King's Seat, there's a range of mountains that strange things have come from.
Strange things come from? Like, I don't know, maybe undead things?
Looks like people, but, sort of rotting and dead and...
I've heard stories that they're, enchanted warriors from other realms, that the dead come back to destroy us, that they're creatures of the night and pure nightmare and evil that have come to eat us all, but
that's a lot of information.
Speaking of the
those are
undead,
rumors. That's all rumors.
Really not.
have you heard of people dying but not really dying? Like they die but they just wake up later like nothing happened?
Yeah, the Kalshay. We've seen them before,
The
yes.
Kalshay?
Yes.
And
KHAL''SHAE?
how was that spelled?
KAL''SHAE. Yes, that's
God
Kalshay.
damn it, put an H in.
E.
You did that on purpose.
KAL''SHAE.
And how has your society dealt with the mystery of the Kalshay?
No, what mystery? By some miracle?
Well, I mean,
By the gods they
it's
were
a-
spared, and they're not dead. So they're still them.
Very pragmatic. I like these
yes,
people.
yes, very. I completely agree.
I mean,
The
occasionally
centers don't really.
there's terrible.
It's a huge point of contention.
There are terrible necromantic rituals or evil spirits that we've seen people's bodies come back to life in terrible ways, and that's
Oh, yeah,
that's
I can follow
unfortunate. But yeah,
Yes, that's very, very unfortunate sorrows.
but Kalshay are
Some
people.
So-
Sarah, glad you got that.
So this is all a bit odd, but we were expecting to find... Well, I don't know. We are here because we were chasing essentially the source of these undead creatures. Not the Kalshay, but, rotting creatures of necromantic origin.
The bad ones.
I sort of expected this place, wherever we are, to be overrun when we arrived. They said they were taking us to somewhere that would give us answers on
I'm,
where these things are coming from, because they are coming for us over on the other side, and we sort of expected that they would be from here. At least I did. They're not everywhere here.
I apologize, but no. They're not.
No, that's-
No, don't apologize. It's amazing that they're like not
I mean,
here.
yeah, that's great news. But
At least for you all.
Nothing that I know of. I mean, there's great
Point us in a
conflict.
direction.
There's ongoing wars here between the Stella Tenuum, defenders of right and justice underneath the king, people who seek
The
to.
Stella Tenuum works for the
They-
king?
Work for your king.
The Stella Tenuum, yes, they're an arm of the King's Guard.
are they like a private
Wow.
association, or are they specifically created and run by your
This-
government?
They work as a branch of our military. We have a standing army, but this is a branch of great magical capability and intelligence, and they
Skilled special
yeah,
forces.
they know that there are things at work that are are greater than us, and they serve as they've released information before that we have discovered routes to other places through fantastic teleportation magic, and they're the ones that confirm these stories. And the Ebon Hand slanders them and tells us that they're lying and that they are, telling falsehoods and trying to get us to turn away from the true God and to turn away from the power of the Maw. And
That's your god.
oh gods, no. I think that
the Ebon Hand think that
between
their
you and me,
gods.
the Ebon Hand thinks that where we live is a giant creature trying to eat enough things to be full and satisfied, and that until it consumes enough, we will never be free of our chains. But once it's full, it will burst from its chains, and we will be truly the inheritors of Eterna. But no, there are those among us that think they're mad, but I pray you don't go saying those things in any of the cities. If you were to find yourselves at Velkor's Harbor or Velkor's Haven soon, there are people on both sides of the debates, and some may
It's
respond
a
more violently.
Bait?
Most of us
I
think
hate the religious.
most of us believe the Ebon Hand to be a violently terroristic religious cult, and
Okay, good.
the majority of us, but they have loud voices and they have people in government that stand
they
for them,
have
but
control
they
of
don't
certain
have
people
control.
in the government.
They
The
have a
problem is
portion
they
of
have
control.
those, and he
They have
points
a
up.
hand.
He points up
in
to
the
the
government.
star. He points up to the star, and you see floating up there is a bunch of smaller rocks, but there are three major chunks of rock that are floating above. The larger ones, the hyacinth is what we refer to them as, and there's three of them, but it's a little hard to see, and he hands over like a little telescope for you to look closer, and they have kind of a blue fuzzy hue while you're looking at them from the distance. But when you get on the scope and look through, you can see that there's these large trees growing up all over these rocks. The hyacinth they're quite interesting, and if you look long enough and close enough, you'll catch some of the airships traveling between them. But
Airship.
there's
Have airships.
well, just to get between them, they're not very well traveled beyond that.
Ships in the air. They don't have any
The big
cables.
blimps. No, they're like large air-filled blimps, and they
That's
float
not a
around.
very
up there.
nice thing to call someone.
No, it's a ship. It's a blimp. It's like a balloon. I don't know. That's what somebody referred to it as last time I spoke to them in common.
She's from the desert. Don't worry
You
about
guys don't speak common on the regular, do you?
No, most of the people
What do you
speak
speak?
to, they speak Farrellin.
Farrellin?
Ooh.
They
What, Max?
any sort of
Max,
shared-
I know some
You're
Farrellin.
making the face like you know something.
I know a little bit of Farrellin.
How?
Old friend of ours.
Former
Well-
traveling companion.
Well, he actually didn't quite teach me a lot. It was mostly from reading. I say the word that I like home to him.
In
I do
Bradish?
it. No, there's didn't we see a little bit of
You did.
Farrellin?
You did. I was wondering if you, because you know home both in Bradish and in Fairland.
Yes,
And that
I
was, like,
say
the
it in
translator.
Farrellin.
And he says, okay, so then he starts speaking to you in like a very strange tongue that you have no idea what he's saying. Oh. Berestu Resvia.
Tak, rozumiem.
No.
Bardzo no. Okay, sorry.
I mean, he switches back to, I understood that you said home or house, but then you said something about like pickles and dirt and...
Look, I tried to learn as much as I could, but there's not a lot of
No.
sources.
I understand. It's fine. You did fantastic. Please. Anyhow, these Hoyasin, the rocks, the large things above you. Please. And he hands you like this little scope to look through. I don't know who grabbed it, if anybody did, but you look through and you see the trees. The Ebon Hand has control of and secret bases on those, which are quite unfortunate. They call themselves the Ebon Hand because they spin silk from those very trees. Those trees have fantastic magical properties. These, and then make a survival check.
Oh lordy. Huh.
4. Make a Constitution saving
I love
throw.
that was.
Con save. It's probably going to be about 12, but I need to double check. I'm sorry, I didn't pull up my character sheet yet. I just know my survival ain't the fittest. Okay, con save 13.
Ooh, you are frightened of what you see.
Oh boy.
As you are like, what is this bug doing at the end of my scope? And you like go to swat it off, and then you look back up and you see what can only be described as a lunar moth that has a wingspan of about 2,000 feet. This massive winged floating beast that just
No, thank you.
gently, miles and miles in the air, blots out part of the star slightly as it blocked off what you were looking at, and you thought it was some moth in your view, but you can see that it's this incredibly large creature floating between the rocks up there.
No, bad. That's bad. That is
What?
not good. That is a bad thing. That is too big of a bug. Bugs
What?
should be certain sizes. That is too big of a bug. That is way too big of a bug. Someone else,
Oh.
I don't.
Oh,
No,
Max,
no,
I
no.
never took you as one to be afraid of bugs, but
I'm not
Um,
afraid of bugs. It's the size. In this particular situation, size matters. That's way
Man.
too fucking big.
Madam, seeing Selenostra, this is quite a blessing.
It doesn't
So
feel
why?
like
do you
it.
see
The
what
rest
she
of you,
sees?
the rest of you, kind of like, as he points it out,
Like a
you
big
can
moth.
see in the distance, like from the distance, it looks like a moth about that big, but like putting it into perspective, you realize as he points it out, and Soren, if you like pick up the scope as Max freaked out and dropped it,
Mhm.
you can see that this is a lunar moth that is the size of like a 747.
Right. Why are they that big?
Well, you
Are
know,
there other things here that are that big?
no, just them really. They keep to themselves. The
Why
Stella
are they that big?
Tenuum, and the Selenostra, both
The who?
Selenostra.
Those things.
Oh, right.
Are they hostile? Do the Ebon Hand control them?
No, they
Is that what you-
feed on the same things. There's the trees up there have
Oh.
magical
Like-
properties, and there's these worms that crawl over the trees and eat them and spin a magical silk, and the Ebon Hand crafts great magical artifacts from the silk.
Oh, please
Why
don't
they're-
tell me that the worms are that big too. Please don't tell me that they're giant.
they're about this big, you know. Just
That's
Oh,
a-
that's
that's
entirely
a
too
big-
large.
that's a big
small
worm.
dog size. Don't like that.
I don't like worms.
So is the Ebon Hand the only ones who have control or possession of this great like
unfortunately, there's
celestial body that
there's-
is that bug?
they don't control the Selenostra. No, the Selenostra are just natural creatures. They just feast on those. They just happen to be up there. They're quite a beauty to behold.
So they
but
control the big rocks. That's what you were saying.
They do. They have.
They have control
What
of
is
their
that?
habitat.
There's
They're
ancient sunken facilities and switchbacks and strange places there that it's if you don't understand it, it's hard to navigate, and they control that, and any attempts to route them out of there have been met with staunch resistance and great difficulty.
Sounds like a
king
black
looking
market
for hunters.
association with a hideout.
Skilled hunters have lost their lives trying to face them, but they also abduct citizens who do good work. The Stella Tenuum also tries to understand the mysteries of the Selenostra and the silkworms, and try to understand the mysteries of magic and why the Hoyasins stay within our planet. Like, they, by all purposes that we understand, they should have drifted away a long time ago. But here they stay.
Well, this has all been very, very informative. Thank you. For all
Do you-
this iteration.
What sort of money do you take around here?
Oh, God, not that I have any, but that is a good question.
I mean, we typically trade. He holds up a coin that's made of gold. We have rare materials here, golds and silvers, and we find that it's commonly traded with your people, and it's about the same. About a quarter of an ounce is a coin of gold, and
So nobody's going to give us shit if we and I pull out like a Bussard minted gold coin if we give them one of these.
no, it's still gold
Excellent.
and melted down effectively, and the very few that we've traded with that have come through have people have been happy to, and frankly, gold money's kind of a bit of a rarity, if you will, and people will happily accept it so they can say they've taken a Cyorion coin.
Well, for your troubles, I give him 3 Cyorion gold coins.
Thank you.
Thank you for all of your help.
Can we-
For all...
Oh, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you've just chartered yourself a ride back. Take a lift to the city.
Sure. Yes, that'd be very appreciated.
Yeah.
Velacor's Haven
I
is a couple days sail from here. We're on one of the farthest outposts for fishing. But
Well,
if you don't
what
mind
was the name?
if you don't mind a stinky ship, I can get you. Velacor's Haven.
Velacor's Haven. How's that spelled?
I'm gonna put it in chat for you guys. It's in game.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's like when you go to a new place and you don't know the native language, and so all of the words are like kind of strange. Like everyone
Mhm,
knows how to spell Busat or Ashahoya, but like
You accidentally step over into Wales and you're like, that's not a word.
That's not a word.
That
Nice
is a
try.
string of consonants.
Someone smashed their face on a keyboard. That's not a word. Dragon.
I would like to buy a vowel.
where is
And he said that the
Ungoverable.
rocks up in space, those are called the Hoyasin.
Yep.
Okay.
Can I get a name? Can I get a spelling for that too?
Hoyasin.
Hoyacin.
Damn it!
Nice try.
when you first said it, I thought you said Velcro's Haven.
I'm looking
was
at
like-
a ton of notes. Mind you, this is like years of notes that I'm finally getting to access, and they're so disorganized.
Can you also type the big floating rock island's name into the chat?
Yes.
Hoyasin.
I got that one.
Makes me think of hoisin sauce.
I was trying to make a joke about
That's,
that.
that's
and it didn't
literally where it came from. It's because I was like, I need a name for
You
these
and your
things.
ramen.
I love fucking
You
ramen.
were
I eat
making
way
fuck.
too much food. Yeah, way too much Korean and Thai and Japanese food.
My God, that's funny.
Well,
Poison sauce is
I mean,
really
like the funniest thing,
Ahoy.
honestly, as a quick aside, the funniest thing is Gware, the city of the elves, is from a mispronunciation of a Gvir rifle, because it's GWHEIR or something. It's a German rifle.
Oh,
Seen here, I thought it was like Gruyere,
Yeah.
the cheese.
It's a Gvir, is how you pronounce it. I think is Gvir, and I always called it Gware. And so that's where Gware came from, was my
God, that's funny.
mispronunciation of playing World War II shooters and mispronouncing the Gvir 43 rifle. That's where Gware came from. Yeah. Just dumb stuff. I love it. So if you don't mind, we're here for another day, but we'll be leaving on the morrow. We're continuing to fish for the Marinthera ghost shark. It's quite a delicacy. This is one of the few places that you can get it.
Huh.
It's quite a docile creature, and it takes a long time to cure, but it's well worth it. It's a delicacy amongst our people.
We had some of it.
Ooh, I mean, that reminds me. Hey, Max.
I don't think you
remember
guys have
that
had
one
this.
time-
What?
No,
what?
no, that's not what I'm getting at. Hey, Max, remember that one time that we got that squid? Where you turned into like a giant whale shark and I rode
Yeah.
you down into the depths and we took it out?
Yeah.
Like real badass like.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go fishing.
Oh. Yeah, we could.
As you're
We could.
discussing that, you hear a loud and you look back to the waterfall like half a mile behind you, and you see that another vessel's come out of it.
Were you expecting other company?
Is that the rest of our gang?
The more the merrier.
You have more-
Yeah. Where
Everyone's here,
is
right?
in all
Yes.
of no like Maribel, Rodnan?
Oh gods, I fucking forgot.
Were they coming too?
Are they coming too? Was that
I don't
something we
think
had
they are.
discussed before?
I don't know if they were. I thought they were
No,
staying
they went
behind
back
in
to
the first giant village.
Yeah, well, no, they went back to the
You guys had like left them behind at the
Mhm.
hunting grounds, and you'd kind of like talked to them briefly about what you were up to, but that was it.
Oh
I'm going
no.
to send to them.
As you're considering sending to them, like the ship is coming closer quite rapidly. Like it comes down off that that like luge very quickly. And you can hear some ruckus coming from that thing. That other vessel.
Dangerous ruckus?
Someone's shouting. And as he
That's
gets a
not
little closer,
concerning.
you see like the sheath of the like the whole skins come back, and you see Rodnan in the distance furiously trying to unbuckle Maribel. Who's going, y'all are
Got it.
fucking crazier than a goddamn road lizard in a hailstorm if you think that I'm gonna be fucking staying back there with these goddamn giants. Get me off this thing. And she's like fucking pulling at the straps.
That's my
Pulling out the
girl.
book to start sending. Oh,
And she stops
I
and like
fucking love her.
looks up for a minute. Holy shit, hold my beer and look at this. You fucking like put lipstick on me, slap the ass of a pig and call me Sally. This is some crazy. What the? Hey y'all! How y'all doing?
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Rodnan,
Yeah.
like as you guys start to pull closer, Rodnan's like, I'm sorry. She we heard what you were doing and she started marching. Shotha's got everybody else back at
Okay.
Shotha's got everybody else at the Giants, but she we got to the Giants and she she heard what you guys were doing and said that, you know, you can't make a silk, what'd you say, you can't make a purse out of a pig's, I don't fuck, where the hell are we?
Welcome to Eterna.
What's that?
The other side.
Land under the Dark Star. Home of the Fairland.
Terige like leans in. Agavina. That's her name.
Oh,
Yeah.
Star?
We've been standing on a bowl this entire time.
Why did you call
Didn't even know it.
her?
That's the star's name. It's Agavina. That's our lady, the keeper of night and the dark star of Eterna.
You have a whole mythos behind the black sphere of purple in your sky?
What do you have in your
mean-
sky?
I don't know.
A
It's
sun.
bright
A
and
giant
yellow and
flaming
I-
sphere.
A minor illusion, the sun.
It's so bright. How do you see?
Yeah.
I'll do a much smaller minor illusion to kind of give them perspective wise of like how tiny we are compared to the sun.
How do you see
Wait a
anything?
mile.
Actually, it makes it
yes,
easier
no.
to see.
Oh,
I
I
think
see
this is quite dark, but
quite fine,
nice.
thank you. Everything's bathed in perpetual twilight here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, you would not dig Ashahoya. You're not a fan
A
of
what?
brightness.
An Ashawada?
Ashahoya, it's a desert. It's infinite. It's
The
fucking
place.
A what?
Hey, that's my home.
Really
Your home is a
hot.
big, gigantic mechanical city that walks around.
I'm sorry, it's a
Massive
it's a place
pit
of like
sand.
of sweet sand does not sound very sweet.
Not.
It's not.
fucking
No.
awful. It's everywhere.
Not a desert, a desert. There is a slight
Yeah.
difference.
Oh,
We don't have that.
One
big.
less letter, and it just
Do you-
means quite the opposite, honestly. Everything
Do you
you would not want to be in or around.
Do you have sand here?
no.
No sand.
I mean, it would
What?
make sense
Oh my
that they
God.
would, though. Why would? Okay.
Sand is
Isadora,
like
Isadora
very
walks up
tiny
to the
rocks
edge of the
in a
water.
powder.
Isadora walks up to the edge of
I mean,
the water and
there's-
is just like putting her hands in the water, trying to like.
We have beautiful, I think you would call them pebble beaches. They're gorgeous black stones that are shiny as far as the eye can see it. You can hear it just it's amazing, the gentle clatter of the Marinthra Sea just sloshing gently against the pebble beaches. They're gorgeous. But sand is a
have-
word I don't know.
Isadora is
Bag of
gonna
sand.
take a rock from the
What'd you
ground.
say?
I have a bag of sand.
Oh god, you have a bag of sand.
You have a
Um,
bag of sand.
It comes with like the sage background or something like that. I
It
forget.
does. Yep.
Nice.
It's some little knick-knacky thing for fucking whatever. I don't know. But I'm
This purpose.
just a little handful. This is sand. It's tiny little bits of rock, and other stuff, but mostly rocks.
That's,
Shell,
oh,
dirt,
Imagine-
dust,
it feels
rock.
like ground salt. It's
Yeah.
Mhm.
mm.
Tastes much
Imagine
worse.
Coarse and
miles.
irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Gets
a
everywhere.
Not like you.
massive stretch of land that is 100% consisting of that.
As far as the eye
It's
can see,
as
goes on
far as you
forever.
can
It's
see forever.
hotter than hell. It's
He
It gets
he walks up
extremely
to
cold in the
Maximil.
darkness.
walks up to Maxwell, like puts a hand on her shoulder. I apologize for how you were raised, if this is the situation in which you were raised. I wish you be.
She was raised quite well in a gigantic mechanical city with climate control and big
She's a princess.
legs. She's a princess. She's very important. Don't worry about it. That's
Not
why we're here.
this.
What?
Not this.
Oh.
No.
How do you get this off of your hands?
You don't.
You
Uh,
actually
I-
do this thing.
I-
Isadora just kind of like crouches a little bit and just like you gotta like pat your you gotta pat
Max's
your
cleaning
hand
service.
on your
I
legs.
tap his hand and it poofs off.
Oh,
Well, there's that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess that's the easy way of doing it.
finally.
Does he notice the necklace that I've been wearing?
Delatinium one.
When you like prestidigitate it, he like looks at it a little bit, but it doesn't click for him.
Okay.
So he
Really?
spoke of the Stellatinium like you all would speak of the King's Guard, like you would have talked about the guard that stands around the bastion in Busat. Like,
Okay.
you know their symbol, you've seen them, but if you see the symbol on somebody, it's not like you're gonna be like, oh, why are you wearing that? It's just kind of like, he's got it. You know, it's just like he registered it and he just passed on, and more interesting things are happening to him than seeing that symbol.
Cool.
And that's clearly what's happening here. Is that, like, the sand is way fucking cooler than the Stellatanium necklace as far as he's concerned. It's just like, what is this sand? Yes. So we have one more day of fishing for Marinth for ghost sharks, but you could spend time with us here. And like standing here, like now by now having stood here for a moment talking to him, other people have been working on this platform. There's probably about 40 people living and working on this fishing platform. Boats are being repaired, nets are being prepped, and you see a couple interesting things. You see those of you that were at Kasoba before. You see the deep gnomes that you had seen before.
Oh. Like the same ones, or just people like
Not the same ones like
Okay.
them. So the I think we had referred to them as the Sveverniblen, as then, you know, deep gnomes, you know, that series of creatures. So they are referred to as Sveverniblen here as well. Like, you guys have seen them before. This would be a first for Isadora. She's never seen a deep gnome. So this is a gnome 3.5 to 4.5 feet tall, wiry, and drow skinned. Like, they look like a
gray.
like that grayish skin. One that none of you saw before, even I think there was one on the expedition, was a Durgar. There was a deep dwarf on that expedition.
Bigger?
You see Dwagars. They're deep dwarfs. You see a couple of them as well. Yeah, so there are definitely some other interesting races here.
It's such an interesting shade.
Yeah.
Kind of
From my
jealous.
recollection in Kasoba, would I remember if the deep gnomes spoke halfling?
They did not.
Damn it. I'm gonna kind of peel off and go try and talk to one of the Duergar and see if they speak Dwarvish. Just kind of casual, friendly. Hello, just wondering if you speak Dwarvish. Getting our footing here. Trying to understand what languages fly.
So this is very much the difference of like Mexican centric Spanish versus like
And Castilian Spanish.
Spanish. So it's you're trying to talk some of the words or making connection, and they're just kind of looking at you like.
I would approach in common first and see if he catches that, and then switch over to Dwarvish.
He would hear
if
you
he
say
doesn't
something.
understand Common.
Would hear you say something, and then you would hear Dwarvish phrases, but like pieces of conversation that don't make sense. As he's like talking to a friend of his, he's talking to essentially like a Darrow friend of his, which is a little bit smaller. They resemble smaller dwarves, but he's talking to a Darrow friend of his who casts a spell and then starts talking to you with comprehend languages.
So
Yes,
Dwarvish.
sorry, we don't. Do you hear me now?
yes, sorry.
Okay.
Much better.
What?
But-
I'm assuming you were talking
entirely
to
what-
Reach.
Yes, we just got here. It's sort of new and unfamiliar. Just trying to figure out what will work and what won't work here based on what we already know. Foolish hope that we might have some shared basis, but apparently not.
I don't know you well from where you come from, but there are
Would you would you
other
like to, or-
phrases and languages that we know. You'll have a hard time.
Wonderful.
Isadora kind of pats Soren's shoulder. Do you think the Drow here would know Elven?
Maybe. any chance they might understand Elvish? I kind of pull on my ear a little bit.
Radish?
We know a little, but not conversation. I'll kind of drop my voice a little bit and get like really gurgly, and I'll ask him if he understands Infernal in Infernal. What's the upper last?
Hey! Max like lifts her head up at the sound of someone speaking Infernal, then sees that it's Soren and goes, "Oh,
Dang it! I do an emphasis roll for you, and like that one absolutely botched it. Oh, worries. But he responds in Infernal.
Oh.
He's like, "Yes, I understand you, friend."
So just again ask him like, is that common for you people for people here, or
no?
no?
Surface.
Shit. Thank him, I guess, and then
the closest maybe language we have that we've spoken with some outsiders. And he switches, and you don't understand him.
oh fuck.
But other people understand him very well, as he speaks Draconic quite fluently.
Recognizing it's Draconic. Oren, help!
Hey, he's got your
dragon tongue. I don't help.
Oh. And then, yeah, replying in Draconic. Oh, you know Draconic. That is interesting. Whereabouts did you learn Draconic?
Dragons, they exist here, and it's not strange for them to be here. There are many feared dragons in this area, but we have good respect with some of them.
Do you have names for some of these dragons?
Oh, the greatest threat is Noldrith.
Oh, I have encountered this one before. He is quite dangerous.
I am quite surprised you have survived if you have encountered Noldrith.
We had the blessings of another dragon to aid us in our encounter.
Very fortunate for you. I'm literally going to pull up my dragons. Hold on, give me a second here. Because he has others that he starts talking about.
if he knows what."
Ask him if he knows who Brundoinum is.
I'm gonna, just, I'm gonna translate into, I do, okay, into Elvish so that the Dwegar doesn't understand what's going on. But I'm gonna say in Elvish to Soren, apparently Noldrith is well known here and quite scary. We should probably.
Name.
Yeah,
Don't
it's not
like
great. No, not a lot. No.
It's very bad.
It has been.
Also, Elvish just is an English accent.
Yes. How I always talk. That's why it's like this.
God.
We have other dragons that the Umbrals serve with the king and assist him, and then near the maw there's the Magmas, and they are quite. They're not as strong as they once were, but they're still very feisty. We share he like considers the words for a moment. We share understanding with the giants. They're frost. They have great dragons of frost and cold and scary in Holdrima. And we have
a minor illusion of the thing that we saw in the fucking caves.
Yes, we have magma dragon like them, primal, scary, not a very smart dragon, but humble dragons are fantastic. No, magma dragons are not friends. They will melt your face and eat the rock.
Yes, probably best to stay away from the magma dragons.
Do not consort with magma dragons. No.
These other dragons you mentioned that serve with the king, you said?
There are some umbral dragons that still work with the king that are very interested in getting to what they call the homeland, some place of
Oodleland.
yes, Oodleland, the one shore.
Interesting. I would
Just pull Max a little
very
closer.
much
I
like to
know, I'm
meet
sorry.
these dragons.
There are some, if you could manage to get an audience with the king, then sure. But the king is a very busy man, and I doubt otherworlders such as yourselves are going to be of little importance to him.
Weird.
Perhaps we can exchange information that we have on the king's enemies in exchange for a meeting.
I don't know what you know of the king's enemies, but I hope it works for you.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you again.
You would have luck with Draconic if you speak it. There are those that speak the tongue of. There are some creatures we've run into here that make their home. Long tentacle-faced Ilthids, terrible creatures. They speak a deep tongue that's not of this world, but some speak it.
You have illithids that are friendly?
Who does not understand? Sorry, Isadora, who does not understand Draconic as this conversation is happening. As Isadora is like playing way too much Baldur's Gate and is just like, oh god, not elephants.
My bad.
allow Doran to mirror Isadora's result. There are illithids here.
No, they speak the language. They are not good, but there are those who dabble in those magics that are not to be trusted. If you find yourself speaking the tongue of the Illithids, I suggest that you find other people to be friends with in these places.
Luckily, I don't think anybody in our gathering speaks the Illithid language, I would hope. Otherwise, they're keeping a very big secret from everyone else.
Otherwise,
sorry.
we have our common tongue, and none of you speak it, but he speaks in Undercommon, which is essentially Eterna Common.
Mhm. Oh, Max says something like, does anyone speak this language? She speaks in Celestial. Have you ever heard that tongue before?
No, it's quite beautiful, but no, I've never heard it before.
Okay, thank you for your help. Appreciated.
Absolutely.
Isadora
Offering a
leans
nice
to Zach.
fisherman.
She's like, remind me to learn how to speak Draconic. I mean, I just love it. I don't understand a thing you're saying, but every time I hear it, I just think like I will crush your fucking bones. Like it's just it's so cool. Like, and I just wish I'm mad FOMO right now. That's all I'm gonna say.
Jesteś bardzo śliczna, moja kochana.
Dobre utro, krasawica.
Max pats Isadora on the side of the face. And then, looking very upset, she goes, Kocham cię.
Right then.
I'm so
Right.
sorry.
For those who
Princess.
don't know, means I love you in Polish.
Aww. But she
I'm
looks
so
upset.
sorry for what I've done. I'm so sorry for what I've done, Princess. Forgive me.
I would like to the what's his name?
Tarish?
Tarish? Is he still around, or is he like back to
Yeah,
fishing?
he's just like kind of like talking with the giants, chatting with like, you know, hanging out with Botrin and Jaeger and Isadora and Max, who are kind of like a little bit further away from this conversation with the Darrow and the Dwegar.
I want to go ask him if he's willing to take us earlier for money. Like subtly, kind of casually walk up to him and just, so since we're new here, what exactly is considered a large amount of money in this place?
Oh, I mean, the gold was quite nice. I'd earn that probably in, a couple months' time. You must understand the only thing that we have here that helps us to track that, and he like holds out this like little pocket watch for you.
Like a watch?
It looks like a little watch, a little pocket watch, and he flips it open. If you notice, the Hoyason moves slightly, but we're in perpetual twilight. We don't actually have a day-night cycle. This is the hardest thing for outsiders to understand, is that these are all centralized, and you can buy these anywhere, but we track these arbitrarily. Apparently, sometime in our history, we used to have days and nights, and that was far beyond what we remember. But somebody created a way for us to keep time, and it's how we measure our days. And they're all centrally
months.
They're all centrally kept back at the cities, and these watches synchronize nearby, and they're magically enchanted. And like, just even those of you that have like slight detect magic can feel like that twinge of magical energy coming off of this. It's really just like it synchronizes to the atomic clock back at home, basically. But there is no day-night cycle here. It is perpetual twilight.
I know you are busy fishing.
Yes.
However, how would you?
So I apologize to answer your previous question.
Yes.
I would
Did
say
you make a gold in about a month?
I make a gold
Roughly 90 days.
I would make a gold probably in about a year and a half.
How would you like to make 5 gold if you take us to this harbor now?
My ship is right there. Please, this way.
I've gotten lovely doing business with you.
Absolutely.
My favorite person I've met thus far here.
A pleasure. I always love meeting people from the other side of the world. Quite interesting. I've met one of you before, but
Just do like the loud like double finger whistle thing. Just... We're going. Come on.
Pleasure meeting you.
it was very nice meeting you. Best of luck in the main city.
Also, sorry, really quick before I go, how common are people with horns here? With horns and tail?
There are
Like me?
there are devil folk like you here.
Okay. How like common are they?
I mean, probably one out of every 200-300 people I see is devil folk.
Awesome, thank you. Good to know. What about dragon people?
Not common, but
Not common.
we see strange things down here. So
Okay. So, I guess question, if we go into very populated public places, would it be better for him to not look like this?
the group of you, everyone will look at.
Okay.
I think no matter what makes the meal, it is we're bound to attract.
You
some
ask that
attention.
question, you look around again, and everybody's fishing, but they're fishing like this, like.
Botrin's hair is just slowly waving in the air.
Isadora just kind of like,
Quick question: how's Jaeger taking all this attention?
Just fine. Like they're like he is completely actually out of touch with everyone around him, and he's been just looking upwards at the Hoyasons. And then in his left hand is just a little bit of blood dripping down.
do I notice that?
As soon as Soren's kind of calling everybody up, let me double check really quick. This is a passive check then, since he's good at that.
Good at perception. I love being good
Botrin.
at perception, but I'm fucking not.
Botrin notices it, and then Botrin again for investigation. so Botrin and Botrin notice it. There's a little blood coming up here. The rest of you are kind of like distracted with everything else that's going on. Master Fax, thanks for gifting a sub. We love you.
Thanks. Desert Born. Full name.
Yeah. So Botrin, you notice it.
Botrin will make their way over to Jaeger and offer a handkerchief.
You can see like both hands. It's just his dominant hand, his left hand. White knuckles digging into his own fist, just balled as tight as they can go. And you go up to him. Oh. Yeah, thanks. I'll just
Breathe.
wipe off.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Just breathe.
Appreciate it. Are we moving anytime soon?
We are
Good.
moving now.
All right. Thank you. Let's move.
Come along, Sparkle. Let's go. And we move over to the new ship.
Okay.
Did Patrick
I like
say sparkle or
that
spackle?
Nate, Sarah, and I just all were like, wait, what?
I'm
They
looking
all
at
heard it.
perceptions now because everybody else was like standing around.
Well,
So
he said it
I
to
didn't-
me.
he said it to you, but the whole group's getting going, and I said, okay, a DC 12 perception check would catch that, which means
Passive.
Maximiel, Soren, Doran. Yeah, everybody except for Isadora.
we love a low DC. We love it.
I mean, it's you guys are getting ready.
Isadora's
The whole
just
group's near
chilling.
each other. Isadora's just like talking to people. They're convincing you to try this Marinthrid ghost shark.
Oof.
They've got some that they say is cured and is ready to go if you want to give it a shot and try it out.
Yeah, you know, I've tried all kinds of questionable things, but you know what? Why would I stop now? You know?
So you gonna give it a shot?
Yeah.
So you pop in this this fermented and like aged shark piece. It's strong, a bit like old blue cheese with a hint of ammonia. A little bit of nutty taste on it too, but all those strong flavors actually cut through like the inability to taste. And like Mirabelle's right there with you, just like tasting pieces of it. And she's like, how much for like? I need like about 3 pounds of this stuff. And she's like,
This is
bartering him.
amazing. And then she leads to Mirabelle. She's like, "Do you think this would just be an appalling experience for the others?
I don't
Do
know,
you think
but this is
unique
this
to
is
us?
fucking delicious.
It's amazing."
And
huh?
like the goblin that's standing there like carving a piece of this off with you is like eating it alongside you, shaving piece and tasting it. But realistically, this is Hakarl, I think is Hakarl, which is the proper way to pronounce it. Is the national dish of Iceland inspired this, which is aged Greenland shark. And it's actually toxic to eat fresh. It will kill you if you eat it fresh. So it has to be aged and has different tastes, but like old cheese, ammonia taste, nuttiness is like the descriptors that people give it. I am excited to try it one day. I really, really want to try it. But Mirabelle's like, we just gotta get like, okay, 3 pounds, and she like forks over like the guy's like trying to figure out the currency and explain it to her, and she just like hands him
Isadora's
like 4
passing
gold.
out. Yeah, Isadora's like handing out like a couple of coins to Mirabelle, like, here you go, girl, thanks. I really appreciate that.
And the goblin's just like holding up other jugs of stuff, and she's like, yeah, give me some of that, and I'll take a little bit of that, and fuck it, we'll just throw that in there too, we'll make it all work. And by the time you guys get on the ship, Isadora and Mirabelle are like hauling back armfuls of shit back to the boat. Looks like you've made do with what we have left for our stores. We're leaving, like I said, tomorrow, so I'm sure they were happy to make some extra coin.
Yeah, like a bandit. All right.
That stuff's amazing. You guys should try it. Like.
So Sparkle.
Spackle?
Yes, but that is not
No.
what you said
You
earlier.
said Sparkle, didn't you? Or did you say Spackle?
I said
I just-
Spackle.
Oh, we thought you were calling Josh Sparkle.
Just assumed we were giving.
Maddie wasn't
her a
there.
name.
Maddie couldn't hear.
I'm
All right. Can I inside check
Okay.
Batron?
Batron,
I believe you
can either
wholeheartedly, buddy.
Botchin, if you're either deceiving or persuading, you can send me, you can do a deception or persuasion check, and then, yes, Soren, you may insight check.
Jeez, that went all over the place. 13 plus whatever, and then I'm gonna add this thing. Hacha. I can't. Why am I? Why is it out? Shouldn't be out. I haven't used it. Oops. Sorry. And then whatever my insight bonus is, which is 10, so 23 plus 3, 26.
And Botchin, what were you doing? Deception or? So you know he has a 23 plus 3, 26 total?
26.
Right.
So you know he has a 26 total, Botrin. Based off of what you rolled, what does Soren pick up?
That Botrin believes that he said spackle.
Okay. Cool. Just gonna-
All right. You all, you're ready to take off on this journey. You look behind you. You know, the frost giants are making their way back to the waterfalls. Gonna give you a wave after your brief interlude with them, and you start to make your way to pebbled beach coastlines of what you now know as the landmass of Eterna, this actual thriving civilization that exists on the other side of Cyorion. But in front of you, all you can see is a large, still turquoise blue-green ocean that sits calmly reflecting the purple light from the star above you, and that you now know is called Agavina. And it's there that we will take a quick break. So we'll give everybody a fast break. We'll be back soon. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, guys. We'll be giving our cast like 5 to 10 minutes just to grab drinks and restroom breaks. We'll be right back.
dinner, boy dinner.
Boy dinner.
Boy dinner.
Boy dinner.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm gonna wash it all down with some scotch because I'm an American.
Yes, you are.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah,
I roll
brother.
Ron Swanson style. I'm not usually one for clear liquids, but in the interest of health, I'll add ice cube to my scotch. Welcome back. So, as we are heading back towards heading forward for the first fucking time ever.
Yeah.
You guys have a bit of a trek ahead of you. Excuse me, to get towards the city. So, out on this vessel, I mean, it looks like a sailing vessel. I mean, there's nothing quite unique about this, except for the sails, colored in reds and purples, rather than the typical clear linens. Probably a result of just the different colors of chlorophyll down here. Like, you find that looking at the kelp and just the sea vegetation as you float by is varying shades of reds and purples rather than the greens you expect from the regular sea life that you've seen. Sea life that you've seen. Here I am trying to be enigmatic and dramatic, but instead I'm just being repetitive. However, you guys begin the voyage toward Velacor's haven. It's explained to you by Therese that it's a rather long journey. You have a bit of time. I should actually
With the opportunity to chat with my fellow party members, Isadora goes up to Soren and it's just like, I have a confession to make. And when I tell you what I'm about to tell you, you're not allowed to laugh.
All right.
Okay?
Generally, I don't laugh at tender moments like this, but sure.
It's just a bit embarrassing for me. You know? And you seem like someone that I can have this conversation. I've warmed up to feeling vulnerable with you.
Metaphorically speaking.
Yes. Metaphorically. Well, I'm a very experienced elf, half elf, you know, a bit older than you, you know, I've gone through a lot, and I lost my family when I was 15. So it's been like a century, really, since I've genuinely spent time with the elves, and I just can't help but feel like I've completely lost touch with that side of who I am. And the reason I haven't necessarily been inclined to speak Elvish with you is because I kind of forgot how.
I think that's entirely fair. I mean, I barely kept up with it. There's not a whole lot of people in Bussard who speak it commonly. I mean, some people know it as a sort of esoteric thing, but
yeah,
want to learn.
and I mean, at first I was kind of a little envious that you still had your Elvish accent to begin with. I just feel like I've completely lost touch of that side. I feel like a human with pointy ears.
You're much more than that, but I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So-
I don't exactly have like a textbook or anything of that sort, but
Yeah, but
we
if I
can conversate and sort of see if you pick it up.
yeah, it's like I have a really passive vocabulary, you know, like I can really understand it when someone's speaking it, but it's really hard for me to speak it out, like pull it from my brain, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I feel like if I mess up what I'm saying, it's a really invalidating experience, because it's like I'm half elf, and I should just be able to. I should just know. I should just know. That's who I am. It's part of my identity. And when I mess that up, it's really embarrassing, and it digs up a lot of really old trauma that I completely forgot about. Like stuff that happened over 100 years ago, kind of old trauma, and it's I feel vulnerable, and then I just don't want to do it. So I just speak common, and that's how that's gone for a very long time.
Well,
yeah.
I suppose we have a lot of time that we can spend if you want to learn.
Yeah.
Not much of a conversationalist, but we can hash out the basics. I can teach you grammatical structure and things of that sort. There's off the top of my head, there's other people in our party that speak Elvish, right? There has to be someone. I think Modron does.
I do.
Oh, that's right, Doran does.
Yep, Doran.
Yeah, I speak Elvish.
That's it.
Common, Draconic, Elvish, and Gnomish.
But nobody else speaks Elvish. Okay.
I just feel like I've given up on, like our people. Like we're survivors. Like we survived the unthinkable, and we are still here after being practically eradicated. And I don't even feel comfortable speaking it. I've just let it go. I feel like a disappointment of an elf.
My fighting style was sort of the same situation for me. It's all but lost, and I think I might have been taught by one of the last few that actually made it out of Guaya. But this whole journey, this whole quest, I suppose, started because I wanted to learn, I wanted to reconstruct it, I wanted to understand.
Those fighting techniques, those are from where?
An Elvish technique of swordplay and magic blended together. Seems.
I had no idea. It was in front of my face the whole time? And that's what you were doing?
Not exactly obvious, but yes. I have we met one other. Lived with the dragons out by the Akuros. There was another that we met. She was far more graceful than I, but we've sort of adapted it and made it my own. Hardly recognizable if you were to talk to a purist, I think, but well, who's going to correct me, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't really see those anymore. I'm curious then. Have you been back, or have you ever been to the city at all?
I always thought about it, but I never knew it. I wasn't born there. I don't think
Neither
it
was
held
I.
anything for me other than a sort of misplaced, empty feeling.
Wow,
But who knows? We've ended up at a lot of strange places. Maybe we find our way there at some point.
You are so much more familiar to me now that you've explained that. There's a lot about you that I've just been kind of running from, or is a part of me that I just haven't, that I kind of bookmarked and then never picked back up. But it's really nice to see someone else who knows that world. Kind of sounds like it feels like a myth.
Discomfort looking at me, but I think you and I have more in common than we have yet to uncover.
I think so too. It's very interesting.
All right.
Okay.
First lesson tonight. We're going over basic, conversational structure and sort of common phrases. Where's the bathroom?
Oh, right now.
How much gold is that?
Okay.
Sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
Panic now. Later, once we're done for the day.
Okay. Cool. You put me on the spot there.
Call it here.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Cool.
So while all that is going on, Max, you notice that Spackle and Botrin are... Spackle is up in Botrin's arms, and they're having a very low, whispered sort of conversation. And then after a few moments, Botrin walks over to you and says, "Could you do me a favor?"
Yeah, of course, anything.
And Botrin extends her arms, and Spackle holds their arms out. And he says, "If you would watch over her, I'm going to sleep for a while. I'm going to commune with my patron, and I need to seek some answers. So just watch over her
Of course.
while I'm asleep." And then Botrin
Spackle on the nose, pick her up.
kind of puts his hand on her head and he goes, "I'll only be gone for a little while. So you behave yourself, Sparkle." And then he walks off, sits down, and he goes to sleep.
I look to Spackle and I go, so that's the second time they've called you Sparkle. Have you caught on to that? What's up with that?
I glitter a little.
And she like waves her arms and they kind of glitter and sparkle a little bit.
Is that normal? Because I thought that they always called you Spackle.
I don't know.
Alrighty. Well, you behave. If you want.
Okay.
I won't tell them. Don't cause too much trouble. And then I kind of shout over to Botrin, sleep well. Sleep tight. Don't let the nightmares bite. Please. And then Max wants to have a conversation with Jaeger. Where does she find Jaeger?
Does she find Jaeger?
Sparkle is going to start, like, you see them sit down near the edge of the boat and just kind of start apparates this paintbrush and kind of starts painting on the side of the boat. It's on the inside of the hull. Just painting pictures on the inside of the boat, but not causing any real damage, but nobody said anything, so Spackle just sits there and continues to paint. Jaeger.
Your technique is coming along marvelously, dear.
Thank you. I'm working hard.
I can tell.
Jaeger.
So if we're getting on the boat, yeah,
On the boat, heading to this place. To the
I'll
haven.
kind of be. I guess I'll go to the bow. I've been primarily on the bow, but it's just eyes never leave the Hoysins, staring upwards.
Max scoots up next to him and looks at the Hoyasin, looks at him. We're gonna find our family soon. How do you
Hope
feel
so.
about that?
They must be up there.
Maybe. We'll
I
find a
don't know,
way
I
up
would-
there.
Yeah, I was just about to say, how do we think we get up there? Take one of those ships?
Maybe. Wonder if I can turn into one of those giant moth things. Do you
That'd be
think they're
cool.
able to breathe up there? I mean, we should be able to breathe up there. There's no reason that we shouldn't be able to breathe in, outer space, right?
There's probably things we can do to help, but that goes beyond anything I've ever studied.
Yeah, me too. But we are so much closer than we've ever been to finding out the truth and finding them. That's a success. Yay. I think that's cause for like a mini, very, very small celebration. We made it to Eterna. That was like step 1 of your 72-step plan on how to rescue your family and get vengeance. So, Huzzah. Yay. Right? Or am I
Just
misspeaking?
kind of see like tears kind of building. I mean, kind of chokes them back in.
No.
Yeah,
Max.
my plans to get here were all sorts of different. And now that we're here and I know where they are, getting there wasn't in the plan. I haven't felt so helpless in a very long time.
Max takes his hand and looks up to the Hoyasin. We'll all be together every step of the way.
Where do you think your sister is?
Alive, I hope. Probably in a similar place as your family. I hope. I mean, maybe they all escaped. I mean, you know, if she's related to me, she's probably crazy. So she may have found out some way, some loophole.
I think if she's anything like you, I think she's already got her army. Maybe commanding some troops somewhere.
Maybe, but last I knew, last you saw at least, she was being taken by the Ebon Hand, so.
His eyes, for the first time, leave the Hoyasin and stare directly at you. Can't you communicate with her?
I've never really seen her. I don't know what she looks like other than kind of like me, and that's sort of a requisite for that spell. I have to, like, know who I'm sending it to, at least, like, picture-wise, I think. Like, I've never tried, you know, communicating with someone that I don't know, but I could try.
Unless you want to do it for roleplay reasons, Maximil did unlock memories of what her sister looked like even though she was young.
Okay. So, like, but my thing is, well, not me, but some people look very different when they were, like, young as opposed to where they are now. Fun fact, Sarah just looks like someone pulled her up and out a little bit. I look the exact same, but I didn't know if that, like, the case for everyone.
Doesn't change that you did know what they looked like at one point, which allows you to connect to them. Like, you can reach out to the ley lines of the world, the magical weave of the universe, as it were, and reach to that person as you know them and still try to find them. You've never tried it, but unless for roleplay reasons you don't want to, I'm not going to force you to. I'm just going to say that now, talking about this for the first time, Max is like, you know, I kind of know I remember what she looked like when she was like 6. Because you have memories of, like, that very young version of her.
You know, now that you mention it, like, I've never tried it like that before. Like, I'm gonna stall for a little bit so Ben has time to look through notes, but, like, I've never really, like, done that to someone who I didn't know. Like, I've sent to the person who looks like me and was pretending to, like, be my mom for over a decade, 20-ish years. Like, I've done that, but I knew them. I guess I know her face when she was, like, 6.
I mean, you would think that, I'm assuming Alana, I've never really done it. You would think that kind of knowing someone, right?
You know what, Jaeger? I'll give it a shot, and then I could also try to send to your family. Do you have? If we could, can you, like, draw a picture of them? Because if this works, I could try to, like, send to your wife.
I mean, I'm not one for drawing, but I can give you every detail I know about her.
Okay, let's try this. This is I can't believe. I mean, I guess my like 11 intelligence is coming out here, but I didn't even think to do that. She does the somatic component to sending and goes, "Hello. This is possibly your little sister. My name's Max. I'm in Eterna. I was in Ashahoya. I'm trying to find you. Hope you're well. Are you okay? Are you alive?"
What's your sister's name again? 'Cause I can't find it.
I don't know.
You don't know. That's
shit.
right.
Oh
right.
no.
That's right. That's
Wait,
right.
wait. It might be.
We
Hold
had.
on.
I don't know if I actually wrote it down to try to keep with the what I knew, because I sometimes don't write down what you give us in the what you don't see.
Present.
It was Illyria talking to her king was all we had, and then this person that looked like Max walked in a tiefling with a busted horn.
What session was it in? Or
Back
Or
in
like-
39 or 40.
awesome, thank you.
Yeah, that shit.
Do session. No. Didn't write that.
I think it was 41.
Well, that was when session 41 is when we had the people
yeah,
talking
that's
like
different.
about the blind prophet's relation to someone in the Midnight Parliament.
There was a what we don't see. Session 44. What we don't see. Dark, dim purple room. Commander Illyria, back from Kasoba.
Mm-hmm.
King Dushind. Where's the name? Nithsa?
Nithsa?
Have you taken Agent Nithsa with you as instructed? There was a quote that I have down. Speaking of outsiders, have you taken Agent Nithsa with you as instructed? Someone says, she did quite well, actually. She has a gift for you. And then a young, battle-scarred woman steps out wearing strange leathers, flecks of skin, poke through gapped armor. She has 2 curved swords on her hip and 1 gauntlet. She is a member of Stella Tenuum, drags in a changeling, has pig skin and horns, 1 broken off.
Yep. And that was King Dushind. That was the correct king name. Perfect. I didn't change my king name between 40 sessions after I fucking name dropped him back in 44.
My notes for session 44. I didn't have my journal with me.
Oh no! You hate to see it. But what was
So
her name one more time?
Nithsa.
Nithsa. That's right. I have her right
Yeah.
here. I found it.
Yeah,
Nithsa.
Nithza, I think is how
She
it's
goes
spelled.
by
I'm sure it's
Nithsa.
wrong.
Nope. Nithza is Nithsa. That's her correct name.
Redemption!
You got it. Okay, so you reach out. Max. That might be your sister. I'm in Eterna. Like what you say, right? That's what you say?
Yeah, like what I sent out.
You sent that.
Like,
After a moment, you hear back a voice echoing in your mind. It sounds feminine, a little rough, but reminiscent of hearing your own voice. This doesn't feel like one of the Ebenhand's tricks. If you are here, find me in the court of the king.
ah! Ah!
Do you scream out loud?
Yes.
Okay.
Suddenly
I know
screaming.
she has I know Isadora has a low perception, but does she notice?
Oh yeah,
Max
you notice that
screaming?
Max.
Okay.
All of you notice, besides Botring, because Botring's in dream mode. All of you notice Max screaming.
You all right over there?
Maximil, you
Max.
okay?
Max.
Max does the a second one and goes, just to double check, you're a pink tiefling, like, do you have dark pink hair? My name's Max. It's amazing to hear your voice. I can't believe you're alive. Oh my god. Oh my, what's your name?
Who are you talking to? Oh my god, it's her sister.
Ah!
Max has a sister?
I told you that like a few days ago.
You hear a
Oh, we
voice
did
back
cover
in
that
your
one.
head.
Oh, thank god.
She just kind of like, yeah, I think you did mention that.
I thought my sister was dead. Don't contact me this way again.
What's going on with your face? Why are you
Hello?
making that face?
No, she
She
looks very sad.
doesn't want me to contact her this way again. I don't know if that's like for safety reasons or if it's because she's mad at me.
What
didn't
did she
choose-
say exactly in the messages?
Does she want you to contact you a different way?
So first she said, "Find me in the court of the king."
Oh.
So she's in the court of the king.
We have powerful allies over here.
I
love it.
told you.
Actually, yeah, you did.
So
Wow.
reassuring.
Wasn't expecting a literal army, but that sounds about right.
We have an army. I like that.
Better
I've
than
never had an
plea.
army.
And she like she But then after I contacted her again, you heard what I said. I was like, just to double check, you look like me, and like, this is awesome.
Pause.
Pink tiefling, pink hair, all that stuff.
Let's play this in a different scenario. You're working back home, doing your thing, and some random person says, "Hey, I'm your sister," maybe.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you hear from them is, "Just to confirm, you're pink like me, speak like me, look like me." Yeah. How would you react if you were kind of still in that manipulative state of changelings and other things that you're doing, all holiness and
I mean, as assassin organizations go, that is a very poor tactic.
Yeah, it is
If
very
that was
poor
the Ebon
tactic.
Hand, that would be
Well,
cosmically stupid of them.
yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just go pay her a visit, right?
Yeah.
She's
I mean, I think
she's
we're
with
going
the
to
king.
have to.
Apparently, she's in the court of the king. She's
Yeah.
alive. I didn't even know this.
What, do we know where
Let's
this
go.
is? This King's Court in the place we're going to?
You have no
Don't-
idea.
To
But Therese is very interested in this like sudden kerfuffle on the ship, and he's kind of like watching all of you from the poop deck, like steering the ship. Everything okay down there?
we now have an invitation to the king's court. Is that in the direction we're going?
No, it's much further inland, but I highly doubt you have an invitation to the king's court. He hasn't held open court in years.
Not
Do
really.
you want more money?
It's more direct.
Well,
Is that somewhere you can take us?
no.
All right.
It's
You'll-
land.
Don't
bound.
worry about it then. Never.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
it's inland, we will have to make the trip by land means.
Good,
This is still very much appreciated.
good luck. Yeah. I don't know if you understand that he like kind of lashes off the wheel of the ship, pops down to the lot of you. There's quite a war going on between the Stella Tenuum, some of their forces, and the Ebon Hand, and the Ebon Hand doing things like abducting people. There's some terrorism essentially happening, and the king's very locked down. He's not just going to let a group of this
Idiots.
walk up to them.
We have an.
I would beg to differ.
Do you have a signed, written invitation that says, please come see the king today?
No, but if you think about it, we look nothing like the rest of you or the Ebon Hand that could possibly operate on this side of the
Do
the
you
bowl.
know what the king is facing? An army of changelings and shadow dwellers that move unseen and seen while not being remembered, and have left many dead in their wake. Nothing approaches him. You are naive to think you can walk up to such a man.
They could easily look like any of us. Why would they? I have no fucking idea, but it is within their capability.
Tactics like this have been
How do you
tried.
prove? How do you prove that they're a changeling?
I
This-
actually have a way to prove that we are not changelings and actually
The
are on their
Stellatenium-
side.
Yeah, the Stellatenium has magical artifacts that can help to like. Shit. Yes. That, and points at Max like precisely
Mm-hmm.
that.
And
You're
what
not
is that?
wholly unfamiliar with this war.
It's
I'm
an
not
awesome
wholly
thing.
familiar with what's around your neck, Max.
Oh, this is the symbol of the Stellatenium. It's a crescent moon with a star in the middle of it. And
So-
if I touch it against someone who's a changeling, they'll be reverted into changeling form.
I'm starting to think it's not a moon.
Yeah, you got a point. You got a point.
It's
You
a
got a
crescent
point.
C and a star in the middle.
It was a bowl. It was a bowl on its
Son of a-
side. It was
Son of
a
bitch,
bowl
Ben.
the whole time.
Max is like, I want the symbol to be this,
It's
and I'm
a
like, sure, it's totally
bowl.
that, but you have
It's
no
a
idea what
bowl.
it actually means.
Which is actually funny. Can I like time out really quickly?
Yeah.
For a second. So when I made this symbol for the Stellatenium, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna find a fancy Latin word. It means phantom star. And so being an astro nerd, I always find it funny when people draw a crescent moon with stars in the middle of it, because that's false. You can't do that. So if there would be a star in front of the moon, it would be a fake star. And so that's why I did that, because the star in the crescent moon would have been the fake star. And I was like, oh, it's Stellatenium, phantom star. There we go.
God damn.
But she just played right into the fucking plan. Pre-session one, I was
Congratulations.
just like,
You played
Wow.
yourself.
excellent.
I played myself.
Ben is
Yeah.
straight up elder braining so hard right now.
No, this-
He is he is
I mean,
he
yes.
is revealing the grand design as we speak.
Yes, but this is luck on a cosmic
Yes.
scale.
Yeah, no, the
Yeah,
fact that
this is-
like it
There
took
was
like
no luck.
seven original players or something ridiculous like that with all these backstories, and Sarah was just like, hey, here's that present, and I'm like, God, yes, I am on board for that 100%. She's like, you're really excited about this. I'm like, yes.
Damn.
You have
idea
no
why, but we'll
fucking
figure it
idea. You don't even
I just
need to
love
know
how
why.
excited you get about everything because we never know what it's for. He's just excited because cool stuff, right?
Yeah, it's just cool stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah,
Quite.
indeed. I need to roll something really quickly. Doran and Jaeger. Yes, that's exactly that. That's what they have to help like suss people out. Doran and Jaeger. Tarish took a step back.
Okay.
I was thinking that what he was saying about getting an audience was a little sus.
Why is
Jaeger,
everyone
do we
acting
share
so
any
weird right
languages
now?
that he would not recognize?
We
Or
have
no,
a whole
you
like
can-
established symbol for this person is a changeling. It was like something with our
Do we?
nose, wasn't it? It was like a
Like this?
You guys kind of had one of these. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna look at Soren and
Or Jaeger.
like,
Jaeger's the other one that picked it up.
yeah.
doing
And
You
then-
think you get seasonal
like-
allergies here in Eterna? You doing okay?
The air is a
There-
little dry here.
There are some allergies
Yeah.
here. Yes, you have to be very careful. There's some spores that are a little bit toxic. As we get closer to the coast, you may be picking up on wafts of that. Isadora, you have no idea what's fucking going on.
Oh yeah. I
turned to
totally think
Max.
Doran is allergic to some kind of pollen here.
Let me see
Uh,
here. Soren.
Subtle sending. I subtly send to Soren. nod once. Changeling?
Soren and Max, you both pick up on the symbol. Like, it takes you a second, but you're both like, oh shit.
Yeah, Doran did it to me, and we were both just like, that one. And she sends to me, and I just nod once.
23
again,
stealth
subtle
check.
sending, subtle message. What do we do? Attack? Play it cool. Nod
Jaeger-
once for attack, nod twice for
You like
for
get a
play it
look
cool.
around at the group. This guy doesn't notice, but Jaeger is suddenly gone. And Isadora's talking to this guy about allergies. He's like, yeah, you know,
honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, it's like my
listen,
nose is itchy too. It's
yeah,
so
we have
dry.
some wonderful
cast
things
Psychic
back
Glance at him.
in the
That
town.
doesn't make any sense. You have
Yeah.
waterfalls everywhere.
Simultaneously-
with all of the mist
All right.
in the air.
Max
Pause.
will subtly message Isadora, so Max just looks at you, and you hear her voice in your head without her moving her mouth. She goes, "He's a changeling."
Isadora does a "That's so Raven." That's never happened before.
Again.
So intelligence save is a fail. Jaeger, what are you doing?
I got behind him,
Yeah.
and my gun is to the back of his head.
And suddenly he just like
Now I need
goes,
to keep track of all of my.
and he like grabs his head, and you see the skin shift slightly as like this Tarige disguise moves. And Maximil, you remember Tarige came up and put a hand on your shoulder and talked to you very close
This
yesterday.
is not Tarige.
So yeah, 22 psychic
What
damage.
is- What is happening to him?
Jaeger, what are you doing?
My God, his
Bonus.
skin is like it's melting.
Bonus action, I'm going to start my blade song.
Okay, Jaeger, what are you doing?
Well, if he kicked it off with some damage,
As
I want to kick the back of his legs out
Okay,
and get him on his knees.
make an acrobatics or an athletics check to trip him.
As I fire at him, a shout, "Changeling!" And I fire the lance.
Oh, yeah, 22. Lance,
23 acrobatics.
he failed the save. He is incapacitated. So as soon as you thump him, he can't take actions or reactions. This is a surprise, so I'm going to give him disadvantage to keep his footing. Nope, he just and the head slams in the pong, thumps off the
No.
deck.
Full foot to the back of the head on him, gun to the back of his head.
He's going to take a d6 of thumping the fucking head damage, so 1 point of damage.
Thump
And
damage. We love thump damage.
We do love thump
guess we'll
damage.
Go.
Thump
Creepy.
damage.
Doran, what are you doing? Because this is all happening at the same time.
Okay, so he's been psychic lanced. He's now on the ground with Jaeger stepping on his neck with his gun pointed at
At
the
the
back of his
same
head.
time as those things are going on, Doran, what is your reaction without knowing those? And Maximiel, what is your reaction to this guy's a changeling?
Yeah. Doran and I
Uh,
just communicated that
I-
this guy is a changeling.
Yeah.
Between the two of us.
So
I-
Doran, what are you doing? And Maximiel, what are you doing? Without knowing how much, like, without knowing how much damage this guy's taken or anything, like, you are doing something. What are you doing?
Sword is drawn. I'm holding it down to his head in case he tries to move.
So you got a foot on the
Max-
back of his neck, sword to the back of his head. Max, what are you doing?
Max brings her fingers to her head and then pushes out towards him and is thinking to herself, if I didn't have any ability to think for myself, then neither should you. And I cast Dominate Person.
Oh.
So please make a wisdom save.
Well, that's a 2. So total of a 6.
And then I go, he won't be giving us much trouble. Could you please sit down and allow yourself to be bound? Please.
He goes kind of limp underneath you, Jaeger.
Take the rope and bind him.
Good
He
move.
just
Good
he
move.
He's
sits down and just
hogtied.
like gets himself hogtied. He's laying there like, and he
Great
looks like
job.
Therese
Thank you
still.
so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
I bring forth my amulet, take it off, push it against him.
Oh, he's a changeling. He looks. You see the silvery mottled flesh of a changeling that like goes stagnant. There's like 2 little eye holes, no nose, and a very thin lipless mouth. As he just kind of lays
Where's
there looking up
Therese?
at you.
Let's
Please
see.
answer all of us honestly.
He's back in the captain's quarters. Tied up in the chest.
Good. Do you have my gold?
Tarish had
What
gold.
is that? Okay, so that was still with him. Good. I'm gonna go untie him now. I'm gonna go.
Why
to the
did you
captain's
take his
quarters and-
place?
He's gonna go ahead and make it spin a little bit. So he's like just one round. So he's gonna make a save against dominate person. That's a natural
does he-
one.
Damage.
Does he get
That's-
that?
It's only when he takes damage.
No,
The-
each time he takes damage.
This
Yeah,
is
it's just when he
a
takes damage.
this is an ebon hand agent save because they're
Okay.
trained to resist domination.
Is he wearing silk gloves?
He is black silk gloves.
How did
Let's
we
remove
miss
those.
that entirely?
As soon as like the changeling thing came up, then the gloves appeared.
Could someone take care of the gloves? Isadora, can
The
you take off
gloves?
his gloves?
No, I got
What do the
this. I
gloves?
shoot one
What
of
do
his
the
hands
gloves
off.
do?
Oh,
Fuck!
Jaeger!
no roll necessary. Jaeger's like, I got it, and one of this thing's hands just blasts off against the deck.
But now,
blood
but now he
splatters
gets to
everywhere.
make a save.
Jaeger!
Now he gets to make a.
Do not
Save.
attack him, please. This is very difficult to concentrate on.
What's your
We want
save?
information. It's like 17,
17?
18?
Yeah, he does
17.
not save.
Okay.
His hands got. He
Do-
goes, ow.
I'll rip off
I'm-
the other glove.
So sorry. Do not hurt him, or else we will lose him.
All right.
Tell us why you were following us, please.
Outsiders are to be brought to the Citadel
Where's the Citadel?
on the Hoyasin.
How do we get there?
Airship.
Where?
Fly to them.
How? Where is the base for the airship?
No, you take an airship up to it. You fly any airship up to it.
Okay, where's the nearest airship? Where were you going to take us? Please answer.
I was taking you to Abyssus.
Abyssus. Thank
be
you so
captured.
much. You are being so helpful.
Yeah.
It's so appreciated.
What are you doing to him? This is so weird.
I don't like taking control of people's minds, but
You're controlling his mind?
kind of.
Wow.
Does anyone
Okay.
else have anything to ask him? I told him to respond to all of you honestly.
Did you ask him where the base was? I'm sorry, it was like a lot of rapid fire questions.
Yes.
No, he said Hoyson.
It's
He said Hoyasin,
the Citadel. The Citadel is on Cryptisa.
Cryptisa. Thank you so much.
The other Hoyson.
YPTISA.
CRYPTICA.
Yeah, oh, damn it!
The other ones. Are they important? Do they keep people there?
The other one,
Or
what?
is it just this one? The other Hoyasins? Or is it just that one?
Oh my god, Bodrin's asleep.
Did
While this is
I
happening, Bodrin's
shoot a gun.
That's fair.
Roger's still asleep.
God damn it. He's a sound
Nobody's-
sleeper.
Nobody's paying attention to him.
So confused.
The other ones are important. All of the Hoyasin are powerful
What
and
do you-
have.
I don't care about their power. Do they house the people that you take? That
There are
you were
many
gonna take us
places
to?
that the Ebon Hand operates from. Abyssus is not in the Hoyasin.
Abyssus is where they will take us from here to the Hoyasin.
And then about this time, Soren,
Yeah.
you don't have to lockpick him out. Like you get in there and like you quickly undo this very simple lock, and Terige is laying in. You can hear him by the time you get to the captain's quarters. He's like, and you
Okay, he's alive. Good.
unlock him, get him out, explain what happened to him, and about this time you like
And then
lean
and
it
then
back
run.
out and like you hear, Abyssus is one of the things, and you see now the actual Terige back there. Abyssus is just it's a port. Abyssus is a terrible place. I apologize, my friends. I took your charger and I did not realize we'd been infiltrated. If I had known.
Not your fault. That is kind of their whole thing. Stay hidden.
Let's
we have a thing to kill.
finish asking questions, please. This is very hard to spell, and I don't think I can hold it for much longer.
What's the time on
I
dominate
think
person?
it's less than 10 minutes. It may only be a minute.
Double checking it
That's
now.
I think it's longer if you upcast it.
Dominate
Yeah.
person is
10 minutes if it's 6th level.
Yeah.
For just a minute if it's 5th.
the
Okay.
duration is 1 minute for you.
So then it's over by now.
I mean, you've had a couple minutes to ask a question, but yeah, I'll give you one more question, Maximil.
Who was your contact in Abyssus to get us to the Citadel?
I needed no contact. They'd pick you up. Kind of like shakes it. And
Thank you so much for all of your help.
Ah! And like looks down and his hand's missing. Now he's just like screaming in the pain now that his dominate person's over, but he's
I shoot
writhing
his
on the
other hand
deck.
off.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We want to make sure he doesn't get out, and also we are not as bad as them, although I did just do mind control, so I kind of am, but we do not have to be, all right?
The bindings on the forearms have like held him. He hasn't quite got his hands out yet, but yeah, his hands are fucking missing now.
I'm
What
gonna
do you-
stab him in the back.
What do the gloves do?
That's no damage necessary. He is bound, and on the deck of the ship, you coup de grace right through the spine.
Just right
And
in
he,
the back of the neck. They were going to kill all of us if they got the chance. This is fucking war.
Max
I
kind of
agree.
falls back and is rubbing her head. Oh man, that was a
Hold the
big
side of her
spell.
heads. You are
Ugh.
wonderful, and that was incredible, and thank you.
I
Yeah,
am
man.
sorry, friends, if I had known that you were. I know that outsiders are a hot commodity, but if I had known that I would have. Ah, my head.
What happened?
Well, as soon as
What?
we took off, I went to stow my things, and it was waiting in my quarters for me.
Cast healing word on him.
Thank you. Oh,
Feel a little better at home.
I apologize. If I had known that they were coming for you like that, fervently, maybe there is something more going on with the other side of the world, but
It's sort of their whole thing they never see coming. See them coming. You're just firing bullets into the
Well, no.
corpse.
I had to shoot off too because I shot off too.
Oh.
But
I had to
but
burn
I
some
am-
bullets.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
got it,
dragging
got
the
it.
body.
Feed it to the
And
sharks.
I-
That's where he belongs. Oh,
Oh, I got other plans.
okay.
I'm gonna rifle through his stuff, see if I find anything.
He is a changeling. He is wearing no clothes.
Okay.
Has
No,
nothing on him.
Just the gloves.
Just the gloves were on him.
I will shove a bomb in his mouth if I can fit it.
Yep. His mouth
Light it.
opens up.
Jesus
Toss him
Christ.
overboard. Or
It's definitely a new and interesting way to go fishing.
Oh my
A
god.
little while later, you hear a
Under the water. Okay, good.
like in the
I don't
distance
wanna
behind
watch
you.
a man's head explode.
That's
Yeah,
it.
Hickory, you would have been a fantastic bloodhawk.
No, he would have.
Oh my
He
god.
would have been a great fisherman. That's quite the way to chum for sharks.
Are you still okay to sail until we take over? I can't sail for shit, but
Oh no, I'm fine, but is your friends okay? In all this hubbub, none of you have noticed that Spackle is like sitting over Botrin, and Botrin is like in a fetal position, asleep.
Oh,
oh, that's weird.
tits.
Does he normally sleep like that?
No,
Nope, that's a new one.
Botrin is breathing in a ragged fashion and has been asleep for maybe an hour, hour and a half at most.
Okay.
Do we wake them up?
What would I roll to determine that kind of question? Is that a thing we can roll? for, or
Medicine
is that
check
just
or
whatever?
Arcana?
Can I go Arcana?
Yeah.
Okay. 21.
Botrin does some very weird stuff, and you're not sure if this is normal or not. With a 21, Botrin may have stepped in something in the dream, and something may be going on, but the details are cloudy at best.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, their magic is so much different than mine. It might be bad. It might just be no turbulence.
Is there a way for you to like peek at what he's doing? I'm not quite sure how magic works, but like, can you
I
just
think
like peek?
Of all of us, maybe Spackle would have some kind of insight. Spackle, does this look familiar to you? What is going on?
Something's
You
wrong.
Sense.
Oh.
Oh shit! Can you do anything about this? Because I don't think I can.
No, not again.
And Spackle starts to get very scared,
Okay.
reminiscent of kind of what happened last time Botrin touched base with the nightmare.
Can
Again?
can someone like cut them? Give them just a paper cut. Maybe that'll wake them up.
I can do that.
Cool.
Do not shoot their hand
I'm not
off.
shooting Botrin.
I'm gonna
Thank
cast
you.
Thank you.
sending as Jaeger does the little like pinprick. Casting sending to Botrin. I have no idea if this is going to work, but you are going to feel some pain, and if you can, I need you to follow the source of that pain back to us.
I will gently go to Botrin. I will lift up their hair, kind of in the back of the neck, and insert a syringe into it. Very, very slowly.
Botrin, give me a wisdom saving throw.
And I'll even inject potion of heroism.
All right, Botrin, you get an extra D4.
Cool.
And you gain 10 temporary hit points.
Well, Botrin, your DC was an 18. So you succeed. You get to choose whether or not you follow the source of the pain, but the outcome is still the same as previously discussed.
The only thing that Soren hears is a sort of warbling, echoing kind of voice that is saying something that sounds very weird to you. It sounds like, I can't find you. I can't find you. I can't find you.
Oh no.
Okay. Let's relay that to the rest of the group. It's sound different. It's distorted, but they said they can't find us.
Botrin, do you
I don't know how to help.
follow
with
the
this.
source and wake up because you saved, or do you continue running? Because of Jaeger's assistance, you have the opportunity now to wake up without things changing. The only thing is you won't be in the dream as long as previously discussed, but the outcome will still be the same.
There is a... Vatran takes a very deep intake of breath and sits up and says, Cecilia, where?
Breathe.
Cecilia.
It's all right, Botrin.
Who's Cecilia?
Why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? Spackle. Take Spackle into their arms. Why am I here? Why am I here?
What do you
All
mean,
right.
Why are you here?
What
do
do
you
you
expect to
remember,
be?
Botran?
I was going to meet my patron, Caritas.
Cecilia?
Who?
You mentioned a name, Cecilia. Do you know who that is?
Something. Can't. It's not there. I can't. It's not there.
Know who we are?
You are Soren, and you are Jaeger, and you are Max, and you are Isadora, and you are Doran, and
Know who you are?
where's Caritas? Why am I here?
Botron, do you remember the last time you ran into a nightmare and
Oh,
things happened?
yes, it came out of Spackle's mouth.
Yeah, I think we just rescued you from that same exact thing from happening again.
I need to go back in.
I don't think so.
Oh,
Are you-
buddy. Are you sure? Is there a better way to do this? Why do you need to go back in?
I need some soup. I
Can
need
you
some
take-
soup.
Can you take one of us
Soup?
with you?
I need some soup.
You need soup?
Soup. There isn't any soup in the dreaming. I need some soup.
Can we?
I can
we
get your friends some. Yeah, I got some soup. Hold on. And then Therese like limps back to the captain's quarters. Bottom DMs.
Is it just me, or are they acting wackier than normal? Because like
Yeah.
there's some normal wackiness that goes with Botrin, but I don't know if this is normal Botrin hijinks or like we need to be worried Botrin hijinks.
Definitely think it's
Soup?
the latter.
Want to go back in.
Botrin's skin is normally pale, but it looks really pale right now.
I will add Botrin that the rest of you see that Botrin's tattoos are crawling across Botrin's skin and moving.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Let's go back in.
That's
That is disconcerting.
what?
What is
Wait.
it that guides you through the dream? If you
The
are going back
witch.
in, how can I help?
The tattoos are witch related,
Yes.
but the dreaming is not witch related. So why is the witch reacting to the warlock? Why is the witch reacting to the dream? Is something like not meeting up in the dream state?
Told you. I don't have a soul.
You what?
I don't have
fuck,
a
I forgot
soul.
to tell everyone about that. I'm so sorry. We talked about it on the boat.
Okay.
Apparently. Are you looking for a soul in the dream?
I was going to commune with my patron, learn more about shepherding, protecting, guiding.
Cast enhance ability with wisdom. Kind of hand on the shoulder. I have no idea if this is going to help, but I hope this provides guidance. You're going back. I'm at a loss here.
Botrin, you feel a surge of strength to re-enter the dream. I'm going to redirect you to your DMs.
Oh, tits.
This is
That's not
Botrin,
the reaction I was expecting.
This is so less the hold on one second, one more.
It's awful. They came back, it was like his mind was on his own. They're
Dora with us when we fought that thing.
No.
no.
Botrin takes a breath and it's very steady. I'm being hunted.
Oh,
And he goes back to sleep.
By whom?
fuck. By what? Oh,
Fuck.
God. All right.
Tarish comes back
Right.
out with the soup and goes, not
Good thinking,
Hungry?
but metaphorical
No.
soup, not real soup.
Oh.
You should be.
I'll
far
take
away
the
from us at
soup.
the moment.
Isadora reaches out and just hands it to Max and just feeds it to and just she's just staring at Badger but just gives it to her.
what's
Sort of
his
like kind of arm
Just
around Therese and
rubbing the top of her head.
sort of walking away.
What is
Something's happening with
happening?
our friend. It might be bad. We don't know, but you should be away from us for the moment. Everything's fine. We will handle it, but it's just
is he sleeping?
Drive your
not
boat.
really. Sort of.
Kind of.
He's-
Is there Okay.
Very complicated individual, and I don't want you to get caught in the crossfire again. I already feel bad.
Well,
So
we're not a completely backwards people here. We are going to Veilcourse Haven. You could take him to the Spire of the Dreamer.
The what?
Fucking
No, what now?
And that's where we're
What?
going to end today's session 10 minutes early because we wanted to drop that bomb.
cruel
Fucking what?
Who did you just say?
The Spire
What
of the
did he say?
Dreamer.
What you don't see, Soren and Isadora that night just trying to have their little elven lesson.
Yeah. Just both of them minds blown.
Duolingo
Like,
lesson.
listen.
Do you have any stew in?
I can't talk about Stu right now. He said the Spire of the Dreamer. God damn it.
Why don't we just start with the simple words? Okay, you know, this is really frustrating, and I like hello, you know,
Hello, you, me.
hello.
But
Hello.
while you learn, I will
Hello.
give you the following. We can still definitely have some roleplay with Terige next week. But Terige describes Veilcourse Haven, a river system through like a bay that you follow to 3 great mountainous spires that sit above the cliffs that lead to the lower high. They call it the High Kingdoms, but it's really the lower area off of these 3 spires, and talks about these massive mountainous structures that are built in to Veilcourse Haven, and one of them is the Spire of the Dreamer, and it's a ritualistic and place of like divine worship, and the Dreamer is one of the primary goddesses that they follow in Eterna.
Huh.
They have and if it's anything to do with sleep or waking nightmares, they always say you should go to the Spire of the Dreamer. But
Convenient.
places that you should go to get questions, and I will also add that while you might have many questions to go next week, you should really consider them, as Botrin is unconscious for literally the next 6 days as you travel the rest of the way into Veilcourse Harbor.
That's how fucking long it takes.
How do we keep them alive? Aren't they like gonna get dehydrated? Aren't they
Botrin
gonna...
is well beyond your understanding of how physical peoples work.
Correct.
Oh boy.
But
And
just like pour some
and once
water.
Botrin goes back into the dream, the tattoos settle back to their normal places.
Fucking weird.
So we'll tackle all those shenanigans next week.
I don't like this.
Chrissy, wake up! That was perfect. Thank you, Mel.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mel.
Exactly.
That was
Mel,
so
I
good.
like
this.
Thanks for everybody here. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Remember, starting in January, we are going to go to Tuesdays for our streams. So you got plenty of time. Plenty of time. Tuesday, ain't it?
Tuesday, isn't it?
Tuesday.
But we love you all. Thanks for joining us.
See you next
have a-
Wednesday.
Just hear Isadora in the back of the boat. It's Tuesday.
It's fucking
Tuesday.
Tuesday, isn't it?
isn't it?
And then
I'm going to
Tori's
save
like,
you all from this.
"No,
Have a good night.
it's-
I will see you next week. I'm going to save you.
Bye.
Bye.
Aw.